Hello, everyone, and welcome or welcome back to Gander Gardening with Dawn. Today is December the 14th, and we're just 10 days away from Christmas Eve. So I thought this was a good time to update you on how the Amaryllis that I planted on November the 4th are doing. Plus, I'm going to be adding some hints and tricks along the way so that you can have success with your Amaryllis. I'm going to start with some video of the Amaryllis that are in full bloom already. And then I have a couple that are just about to be in glorious flower. But these here, they're a little bit behind, and they will follow a little bit later. Here on my coffee table are two magnificent Amaryllis bulbs that were planted on November the 4th. On the left, this one has 2 stems and it has 9 buds, most of which are in full glorious bloom. And here on the right, this one also has 2 stems. And by the way, these are both about 2 feet tall. And this one actually has 10 blooms on it, buds. Most of them are in full bloom. Some are yet to open, but I'm going to walk all the way around just so that you can see how glorious these look from every possible angle. Isn't that something? Double delicious. On my video today, I'm going to have 4 tips that you should follow at this stage when your Amaryllis are already planted and they are growing. And number 1 is water less than you think you need to. And I don't think I can emphasize this enough. Amaryllis plants, the bulbs, they have everything they need really in them. So you only need enough moisture in the soil to keep the soil somewhat moist. In fact, you can let the soil get dry down over an inch before you water again. They need very little water. So number 1 tip, water less than you think you should. Under this light, this lamp that I put a grow light in, I have a grouping of plants where I have 2 Amaryllis planted, and one of them is just looking fantastic. This is pink Panther, and next to that there's one that's starting to bloom, and I actually planted the 2 bulbs in this one container with some coleus for company. And if you look down, you will see that this one to the left has a new bud that's up a couple of inches. And this one was supposed to be apple blossom, but it is definitely the same as this one, which I'm not upset about because I think in this container together, perhaps it was a better idea to have them all the same. The second tip I have is that before they are blooming, you should have them as close to a bright window as you can possibly get. On the windowsill is probably the best place, and you should rotate them. Every couple of days, rotate them so that they won't lean too much towards the sun. I've been doing that, and as you can see with these, they're pretty straight. So the number 2 tip, bright light, really bright, strong sun if you have it, and rotate every couple of days. Here right next to my fireplace, and now moved away from the bright light, is Ferrari. And this one is over 2 feet tall, and the second bloom stem is up almost a foot as well. So this one is supposed to be a very deep single red. And right next to Ferrari, I have Benfica. And again, I have moved this one away from the direct light right now. and it is also well over 2 feet. It has the second blooming stem. That one's only up about maybe 4 or 5 inches, and this one is supposed to be another very deep, dark red. These that are remaining were all planted on November the 4th, the same as those I've already shown you, with the exception of one, and I'll be keeping that one for last. So this first one I want to show you, and with these I'm going to start with the least amount of growth and work my way up to the most. And this one is called Benito, and as you can see, it is only up about a centimeter or half an inch. That's all it has grown. And don't worry, if you have an amaryllis that is slow like that, that is how they are sometimes. It can depend on the type of bulb. It can depend on which hemisphere that it was grown in. So a lot of these things are completely out of our control. But next we have Minerva, and this is a fairly common white and red single flower, and this one is doing pretty well. As you can see, it has sent up quite a nice shoot, which is about 6 inches tall, and I'm very pleased. It's looking very healthy. Again, this is one that will probably bloom, I would guess, between Christmas and New Year's. The third tip that I have is to make sure that when they get tall, I would say about a foot tall, stake them, because these can be very, very top heavy plants. And I highly suggest that you paint bamboo stakes. You can use them, just as they are unpainted, but I find bamboo stakes are so easy to cut to whatever length that you would like. And if you paint them, especially if you paint them green, I just use leftover paint that I've had from other projects. They blend in more. Black also blends in. You could use red if you wanted to make it a part of the decoration of it, but stake is very, very important, so that if it does start to lean, you can quickly tie it up. And always make sure to insert the stake right at the edge of the pot so you're not damaging the bulb. This next one is a very, very common and very, very beautiful amaryllis called Red Lion. It's a classic single red bloom, and this one is doing very, very well, like Minerva. And these two, by the way, Minerva and Red Lion, were purchased at a department store in a box. And this one is a little bit taller, maybe between 6 and 7 inches, but looking really, really great. This next bulb was one of the more expensive that I have here. This one is called Marilyn, and it looks like it's almost a little deformed. I'm going to hold judgment on that until I see what the blooms look like. It does look like the second bloom stem that is growing is healthier than the first one, and I'm not sure why that would be, but this is a very double white if it is as advertised, and this one is about 8 inches tall. And tip number 4, my last tip for this video, is to move them away from the bright light, move them away from the windowsill when they're starting to actually bloom. When the blooms show a lot of color and they're about to open, that's when you need to move your amaryllis away from the bright light, place it somewhere where it is not getting strong direct light. And why do you do this? Because if you do, your blooms will last a lot longer. And the final amaryllis that I have here to show you is actually one that I don't know the name of. And this is the only one that was purchased and planted later. This one was planted over a week later than the others. It's a single white. It came in a box, no name. So I don't know what the name of it is, but I really love white amaryllis, and they're not that easy to find around here. So I grabbed it and I planted it right away. And it's doing incredibly well. As you can see, it's up about 14 inches and it has one blooming stem, and the second one is up about 2 inches. So this single white, I would also estimate this one will be in bloom sometime shortly after Christmas, probably before the new year. So thank you for checking out this video today. I would love to hear about what amaryllis you are growing. I can't imagine the Christmas season without them. They're my favorite Christmas plant for sure, and I feel quite confident that if you try them, you'll love them too. And I will be posting again, probably between Christmas and New Year's, about how these are doing, and so you can see why I suggested in my last video about tips and tricks for amaryllis that you buy them early and you plant them early.